Downhill stars Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus as a married couple on a ski vacation in the Alps. Barely escaping an avalanche while on vacation, their marriage is thrown into disarray as they are forced to reevaluate their lives and how they feel about each other. This is co-written and co-directed by Nat Faxon and Jim Rash, who also worked together on great films like The Descendants and The Way, Way Back. And it's an English-language remake of the Swedish film Force Majeure from 2014. And this movie actually brought back from the original film supporting actor Christopher Hivju, also known as Game of Thrones' Tormund Giantsbane, though this time in a different, much smaller role. This got a lot of criticism upon release and is actually pretty reviled for the most part, with a lot of the critiques stemming from unfavorable comparisons to the original movie. And while I don't disagree that Force Majeure is by far a much better film, I actually don't think this is all that bad. It's kind of okay for the most part. The main issues I have with this are the fact that, despite being a wide-release, big studio film, it does try to recreate the feel of an international feature, which has this very distinct anti-Hollywood feel. It'll have this sort of minimalistic tone to it, along with this sort of quirky soundtrack, and a lot more emphasis on the cinematography, which was very good. Yet, despite going for that feel, you also have American actors leading this with a distinctly American sense of humor to it, with its share of sex jokes at times that come off as a bit juvenile in one or two scenes. It's a Hollywood film that tries too much to not feel like a Hollywood film, if that makes sense, and it leads to a bit of an identity crisis and some tonal issues. That, along with the fact that I think it loses a bit of steam in the second half and won't totally feel emotionally satisfying in that second half, is what makes me say it's only a decent experience. But I still think there's some value to this. Both Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus are pretty solid here. It's rare to see either of them in a good dramatic role, and I forget how well they can pull it off when they have the right material. Plus, I did enjoy a lot of the tension that built up between them. This is also probably the most unlikable that I've seen Will Ferrell in a movie, and I mean that in a sense that he was purposely written that way. Like, he does have a few funny moments, but scene after scene, he seems to have just total disregard for his family, though he doesn't seem to fully realize it at times. But he also never really works on it, even when it's pointed out to him. And it's a nice change of pace from both the goofy protagonist he plays in comedies and the down-and-out sympathetic protagonist he plays in dramas. You also have Zach Woods in a supporting role as a friend of the couple's, and in the brief time we saw him, I found him to be quite funny. He attempts to diffuse the tension between Dreyfus and Ferrell and just comes up with a terrible argument for Ferrell's behavior, and that got a good laugh out of me. Overall, I'd say watch Force Majeure over this, as that's a more emotionally satisfying experience, but if you judge this on its own merits and not simply how it compares to its superior source material, between the jokes and the performances, you'll realize it's really not as bad as everyone says it is. Downhill gets a 6.5 out of 10. So, let me know, did you see Downhill or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you think it was better or worse than Force Majeure, if you've seen both? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll catch you next time.